listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
It used to be that calling a film a turkey was an insult. Nowadays, there's actually an audience for some of the worst movies ever made.
Baby, you are gonna go broke showing turkeys like these.
Now we're talking turkey.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.
It's turkey time. Gobble, gobble.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Let's Talk Turkeys. I'm your host, Movie Miss, and this week we're talking Thinner from 1996.
Did you weigh yourself?
297.
Billy, you were 297 last week.
It takes some time for these diets to work. For Billy Halleck, life is sweet. Baby, I gotta rub the Buddha! Bigger is better. I hate it when you do that. No, you love it. And too much is never enough. Winning!
You've got to stop eating like that.
I can't help it, Heidi. All I think about is food. But tonight, all of that will change. You killed my daughter, and I curse you. Thinner. From the best-selling novel by Stephen King comes the new shape of terror. This diet you're on, what is it? I don't think you'd like it, Henry. I'm being erased. Fear the power. That old gypsy put a curse on me.
It's all your fault if you hadn't hit that old lady.
Beware the danger.
This is getting out of hand. This has been out of hand, and I'm just the guy to put it back.
Believe the curse. Please, take it off before this goes any further. I never take it off. Stephen King's Thinner. More terror. Less filling.
And I'm not going to do it alone. So I am being joined by returning champ, going for the trifecta. He was on our Lords of Salem and Cabin in the Woods episodes. Please welcome back to the show, Titan. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. And I'm actually super excited to talk about this movie, believe it or not.
I've watched it twice.
But this was your first go around, correct? You'd never seen it before.
No, I hadn't.
So let's just start then with a couple of basics. Did you ever read the book?
No,
Okay, so you had no prior knowledge going into this.
none at all.
So give me, I've got to know, just give me your broad stroke overall thoughts about this film.
I think if it was probably done these days, it could be awesome. I didn't hate the movie. Like, there was some neat things to it, and
Okay.
being from 96, they didn't have the best special effects and stuff. So what they had, they did okay with.
Okay. I'm pretty much on the same page with you. So we're talking the movie A because I love it, but B, it is a turkey. Rotten Tomato critic score of 15%.
Wow.
And an audience of only 30, which seems low to me, but now that I've reread the book, because I did read the book back when it was in the 90s, and the movie doesn't really stray from the book that much. But like you said, they only had what they could work with in the 90s, special effects wise.
Right.
So I think they did the best they could.
Agreed.
So the film, directed by Tom Holland, not the actor, the guy who did
Spider-Man.
Not Spider-Man, although that would have been an interesting twist on this story. No, he director of Child's Play, Fright Night. So this was like right up his alley, I think. Written by Tom Holland and Michael McDowell, who co-wrote Beetlejuice. I think they did an okay job adapting King's work. I was kind of happy King didn't help.
Yeah. Does he typically help?
Yeah, he helped on Pet Cemetery,
Oh,
which I know for sure because we just covered it, Nikki Flicks and I, and a few others. He does help sometimes. And it's interesting because when he helps co-write the movies, I've noticed you get a lot more King-isms that go from book to screen.
sure.
But in a movie where he's not involved, like Thinner, there's not that many. I don't know if, you love it or you hate it King-wise. I don't know how many Stephen King books you've read.
Right.
But I tend to not like his kind of weird Kingism. So I was happy this movie didn't have as many.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So it was originally written, though, as a novel under his pen name, Richard Bachman. He did quite a few titles under that. I want to say The Running Man
Really?
was one. Yeah. And Cycle of the Werewolf, which was made into Silver Bullet.
Oh,
King has written some really fun stuff that I think translates well to screen in some cases, like in this one, and not well in others.
yeah. Was this movie released in theaters?
It was.
It was.
I remember seeing it. So Thinner did have a budget of 14 million, and at the box office domestic, it did 15.3. It squeaked by. So, okay, I really feel like too, the majority of their budget went to the fat suit in this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
So we've got top billed cast, Robert John Burke, Lucinda Jenny, Joe Mantegna, who to me, MVP of the fucking movie.
Definitely. I didn't know he was in it. And the first time I saw him, I was very excited because I'm a huge Criminal Minds fan.
Same. We also have Michael Constantine, Sam Freed, and Bethany Joy Lenz, and we can get to everybody else as we go. I do want to mention that I forgot when we did the Pet Cemetery episode to mention that Stephen King sometimes likes to insert himself and give himself little cameos in his movies.
Definitely.
And in Pet Cemetery, he was the, I don't know what you would call him, I guess the priest at the overseeing the funeral scene.
Right.
And in this movie, he's going to pop up later as the pharmacist. I don't mind. I enjoy when he likes to just, I'm going to be in my own movie. Like, shit, if I could do that, I would too.
Yeah, and he always comes in just some super weird character.
Right? Okay, so one thing I want to mention before we jump in is that in the book and the film, the people that roll into town and the villains of the story, if you will, are the gypsies. And even though currently it's more politically correct and proper to call them Romani, people of Romani descent or the such, no disrespect intended, but I am going to refer to them as gypsies because that's how they are referred to in the film, and that's what we're discussing today.
Okay.
So I'm just throwing that out there.
I thought about that as well.
Did you?
Yeah.
It threw me off. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, they wouldn't get away with that these days.
No. Okay, so the IMDb plot. An obese attorney is cursed by a gypsy to rapidly and uncontrollably lose weight. Succinct, right?
Yep.
To the point. All right, let's jump into our story. We begin with, I'm sitting here, I always like to watch openings because sometimes it gives me nostalgia. It popped up and it said Spelling Films. I was like, is that like Aaron's spelling? Like, that's weird. What would they have to do with a horror movie?
Yeah.
But we get that. We get title card over a shot of a caravan of cars driving through some fog. So this is where I want to jump in and mention a lot of Stephen King movies. People think of Stephen King as horror. And really, a lot of his stuff is just drama with like kind of a supernatural element.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So did you feel like when you were watching this, it was a quote unquote horror movie or not so much?
No, I felt it was drama with, yeah, exactly what you said. Like, sure, there was little scary things here and there, but overall, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a horror movie per se. But all that to say that the cars are shown driving through this ominous fog and the music and the credits are rolling and I'm feeling the horror vibe, to start.
Sure, yeah. Is that what that was supposed to be fog? I wrote down, why is it so smoky? It did not look like fog to me.
The only reason I have fog on the brain is because I also just watched Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and man, they went overboard. They spent every penny on that fog machine. And that's what it feels like here.
Yeah.
It's like they bought it, so they're going to use it. They didn't care where.
And also in the caravan, it looked like they just rented the Ghostbusters car for one of them.
So the caravan goes by attorney William Halleck, or Billy, at his house, his wife Heidi, and his daughter Linda all there. We see Billy inside watching the caravan out his window. And then I gotta talk about this right now out of the gate. I'll post this on socials because I could not get enough of it. I don't know, and you tell me what you think. Robert John Burke playing Billy, when he's in the fat makeup, which is a good first hour of the film, I feel like they told him, or he just decided that because he was in the fat makeup, he needed to exaggerate and oversell all of his expressions so that it would read. Did you get that vibe?
Definitely. It was almost like he might as well have just started shaking his face around. Just to dramatize it a little more.
Oh my God, when they zoom in on him and he's going real big,
right,
like gasping at the number on the scale. I'll post some pictures of it. It's really fucking funny. So again, like I said, I don't know if it was a choice, but man, he should have toned it down.
Yeah.
So he weighs himself and he sees he's 300. He goes down, lies to his wife. She calls bullshit. He says he's 297 because he's, watching his weight. At the breakfast table now, we get to meet their teenage daughter, Linda. And I have so many random things to say about this movie. Is it just me? Or whenever you see a child or a teenager named Linda or Estelle, you think only grandmas are supposed to, like, at some point they had to be children that were named these same names, right?
Yep.
Because you meet a Linda, she's like 55, and then you're like, well, she had to be 12 at some point.
I think they're just born old.
That makes so much more sense.
Right. They're old souls.
I guess. So we meet daughter Linda, we meet wife Heidi. She makes him a smoothie, and then Linda gives her dad some shit because we find out he's a lawyer and he's currently defending a member of the mafia, not proven but suspected. Allegedly. I love that she mocks him and he threatens to take away her video card.
Right.
No trips to Blockbuster for you, young Linda.
Oh, is okay. I took it as like the video card out of the computer. Yeah, okay. That's even better.
That's what that meant, yeah.
No new release Friday. Or Tuesdays, I guess.
Tuesdays, that was the best day ever.
She gave him the fruit smoothie. He was just disgusted by it, and that looked delicious to me. I'd never seen somebody that wasn't happy about a fruit smoothie.
I know, right? Jamba Juice has built a whole business on it.
Right.
Like, chill out, bro. So then we cut to a courtroom where Billy is defending Richie Janelli, and that is the amazing Joe Mantegna. And this was so weird to me. I had to go back and double check the book because I didn't know if there was more detail, and there is, but not much. He is somehow able to get Janelli's charges dropped because he can prove that there is no way Janelli ordered a hit on a witness because the witness makes a jab at his wife, says something shitty about, well, she wanted to kill me too because she had PMS or some bullshit.
She put a hit out on him 3 years ago. Must have been because of PMS.
And the judge is like, well, that's that. Case dismissed.
You're free.
I died. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So then we immediately cut to Billy and Richie on his yacht having a celebratory lunch. And Richie tells Billy that he owes him a huge personal favor now, which, put a pin in that because it comes back later. Mm-hmm. Side note, I loved when he's eating, he just acts like a complete slob, like it's this fat person trope in movies.
Man, yeah.
Like, what?
He goes for it in this movie.
That's such a good way to put it. He does. So then later on, he's headed to the office and Billy sees the Gypsy Fair rolling into town. He gets handed a flyer that says they're setting up at a farm. We get our first look at Gina, one of the Gypsy women, and that's Kari Wur.
Yeah, don't know too much about her. I looked her up and now I can't remember what she's been in.
So the big one for me is Anaconda.
Okay.
She's a baby bird that John Voight kills. And she's also Turkeyverse tie-in. She is the sheriff badass along with David Arquette in Eight-Legged Freaks.
Okay.
So I love her.
Yeah.
So she, again, in this is a badass, and I've got a great picture that I'm going to post on socials of her giving them the middle finger because they say shit about her. I'm like, yes, you go, girl. So she's incredibly good, we see, at hitting bullseyes with a slingshot and I'm guessing ball bearings, it looks like.
That's what it looks like to me.
Damn, that seems wildly unsafe. She's got like 6-year-olds standing around her.
She's very confident in her skills.
You have to be.
And probably if she hit a little kid, whatever, they just pack up and leave.
Yeah, they're probably not insured for that.
Right.
So now inside Billy's office, his boss/partner reminds him that they're celebrating at the club later. That's the white man privilege thing. Let's go to the club and hit some golf balls and have some dinner. But not before he makes a juvenile remark about Gina outside, whom they can see out the window. I didn't write down the specific line, but I was like, really, bro?
Yeah, it was, I'm going to give you this quarter. You go down and talk to her. You go down and tell her to lift up her skirt.
There you go. I was like, really?
The guy was like, you're disgusting. Billy said that.
Which for a hot second made me root for Billy. I was like, good for you. Call him out.
Sure.
So then outside, Billy runs into his friend, the judge, who's complaining that the police are taking way too long kicking these gypsies out of town. Like, relax.
Yeah.
So, that whole quarter thing comes back into play because as Billy's going to get in his car, she turns around and he realizes that she must have overheard them somehow because she shows him a quarter and flashes him and then gives him the middle finger, which I love.
Didn't she'd spit too, didn't she?
Yeah. Which, total put a curse on you thing.
Yeah, when she was shooting the slingshot and they were talking across the street and 10 stories up, she turned around and looked right at them. Like she knew what they were saying.
Yeah, that was kind of fun, actually. I was like, oh, let's throw in this little supernaturally.
Yeah. Well, if she would have been cool about it, she'd have realized that Billy tried standing up for her.
Yeah, if she'd heard the whole conversation.
He didn't deserve that.
So then later at dinner, Billy and his friends and his wife, they're all toasting to the great private detective agency that they used to help win his court case. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so that didn't make any sense, but it felt because we've seen the movie now, it comes into play later in the movie.
Right.
But I was like, that's weird. After dinner, Billy and his wife are in the car driving home, and he comments that all he ever thinks about is food. Again, fat person cliche.
Yep.
I lost count, honestly.
In the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Right. And as a chubby person myself, I can promise you, we do not sit around thinking about bonbons all day.
Right.
It's not what we do. So he's complaining, and she says, well, I'll give you something else to think about. Let's take your mind off of food. And while he's driving, unzips his pants and, I don't know, gives him a combo hand job blowy situation.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yes, wildly unsafe. What the hell? So then, I don't know. I know we have to have a catalyst, and it is the same thing in the book, but couldn't he have picked something else? Like, come on.
No, that's Stephen King. He's pretty dirty, pretty vulgar in his books, right? As far as sex and stuff.
He does have little crazy sections of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to cut now, while that's happening, to the elder chief of the Gypsy tribe, as they refer to him in some way, the Gypsy King, or I forget exactly what they call him in the movie.
Right.
But that's Michael Constantine. And I love how gross his face looks.
Yeah, really disgusting. Nose cancer or something going on.
Yes, and they zoom in on it. It's so gross. And then we get Stephen King as the pharmacist here trying to talk about getting him some medication for his nose. Cut back to the car. So as they're coming down the street now, they're in town, and you'd think they'd stop all this nonsense and really pay attention, but they don't. So Gypsy woman comes running out of the pharmacy, comes out from between two parked cars to cross the street, and they run her over. They hit her.
Yeah.
Well, they don't really run her over. She goes over
She goes up onto the windshield and then blood just splatters the whole car. They were going 15 miles an hour, maybe. So much they had to use the windshield wipers.
See, again, they had the budget. They're like, well, we've got all this blood. We might as well use it. We paid for it.
Totally. We won't need it later.
Right. So that happens, the accident happens. And then the next morning, Billy is explaining to his wife and daughter that they're doing a coroner's inquest regarding the accident, not an actual trial. And Linda asks him if he's gonna get off, like he did for the mafia guy.
Like he did in the car. That's what I took it as, just a little punch joke.
That's hysterical. Also, why would your daughter know that? Gross.
True. That's true.
But Billy and his wife says there's nothing to get off from because it was an accident, so relax. They cut to the courtroom where Billy's judge friend is presiding, and he's asking the pharmacist what he saw. And I laughed at the little bit of Stephen King thing where they call him Mr. Bangor, like for Bangor, Maine.
I didn't notice that.
Really, dude? Really? Like Bangor? Okay. But he says that he saw, this was so crazy to me. He says, well, I think the gypsy woman was stealing and possibly running. And then he changes his story and says, but I really couldn't have seen anything because I went to the back.
Yep, I didn't see it. I was behind the back, and then they're like, all right, case dismissed.
Oh, but not before they get the police chief.
Oh, that's right.
Police Chief Hockley on the stand, and that's Daniel von Bargen, who is an amazingly talented character actor.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing him specifically, most recently, I've been rewatching old movies. He was in Lord of Illusions, the Clive Barker one as the bad guy.
That movie in years.
Yeah, I've been revisiting, these old ones. But he's a great, great character actor. So he takes the stand and declares that the car, this cracks me up. This is why I had to expand on this. The car was traveling within the speed limit because it was verified by witnesses and analysis of the skid marks.
Right.
Okay, I don't know how many fender benders you've been in personally, but I've been in one where skid marks were a real thing. Like that person rear-ended me because they were slammed on their brakes and it didn't stop.
Sure.
And I took pictures of the skid marks and everything, and I took it to my attorney, and they're like, we can't use these. Skid marks are inadmissible.
Really? I've heard that used in so many movies.
Can't do it.
Damn it.
Not a thing. So I cracked up when he's like, well, the skid marks prove, like, really, dude?
Right.
Let's move on. He gets, it's dismissed and he's not guilty and it's an accident and we move on. So now outside the courthouse, Billy is getting in this car and he gets approached by the old gypsy man, and his last name is Lemke.
Yeah.
So Lemke comes up, touches his face gently, and just quietly says the word thinner. And then they get in the car and drive away. He's like, that was weird. And he makes this bizarre facial expression under this fat makeup when it happens. I was like, oh, dude.
He makes some very silly faces throughout the movie.
So later at home, Billy weighs in. And when at 283, he goes downstairs, and I paused because I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this movie a bunch and I never noticed. At least 5 different kinds of chips, big bags of chips, just sitting out on the kitchen counter. He's got Doritos, Lay's, like all these chips. Like, wow, they're really going for the fat person tropes here.
Right.
So then, even later now, we see him golfing with his doctor friend, and it's a small town, so they all know each other, the lawyers, the doctors. And he does this thing where they're joking around and he's all, kiss my ass. And he turns around and sticks his big fat suit butt out and slaps it.
Geez, Billy, what's gotten into you?
And it doesn't even move. Like he tries to jiggle. His butt doesn't even move.
So at that point, so he's down from 297 to 283, which his wife says down 14 pounds in 7 days, which kind of scary, but I guess for somebody who's 300 pounds, that's a good sign.
Right, at first.
I'm just confused why he didn't have any conversation with his wife about what the Gypsy King did.
Yeah.
You just keep that to yourself.
So now we cut to the locker room after their crazy golf game where I guess they worked up a huge sweat and they all strip down. And Billy weighs in 2 pounds lighter than he was this morning. And the doctor overhears, and it's this little discussion. And then the judge. They're in the showers and the judge is all, hey, take a look at this to the doc, and he's got like a skin rash.
Yeah.
I'm like, do dudes really do that? Do y'all just stand around in locker rooms going, hey, does this look weird to you?
I never really did my share of locker rooms growing up, so I would assume.
Well, if it's in the movie, it must happen, right?
Absolutely.
So then the doc says, yeah, don't worry about it. It's just your psoriasis. You're fine, to the judge. So then the judge chats up Billy and says the gypsy man approached him and touched him right where the rash is and said something, but he doesn't admit what he said. And, Billy thinks, again, that's strange, but doesn't bring up the fact that he touched him and said anything.
Yeah.
So then at home, we see Heidi charting Billy's weight on her little laptop deal, puts him down suddenly 40 pounds in 2 weeks. Red flag, right?
Yikes.
Tells him whatever diet you're on, stop. And he's like, well, I'm not on a diet.
He's just stuffing his face.
Seen by how he eats, right? So Heidi says, please go see our doctor friend. It could be cancer. It's a bad sign, which she's not wrong. He should get it looked at.
Sure.
And instead of saying what happened and trying to put 2 and 2 together right away, Billy says, no problem. So he goes to the doctor, gets all these tests, and they go fine. So he goes to the suit store and buys some new suits to fit his slimming figure. And the clerk is way too excited to be all the commission he's going to make after buying all these new, suits from him, Billy will. I was laughing at the clerk. I was like, he's so excited about the commissions right now.
He's making some bank.
Especially if you're going to buy new suits every 40 pounds.
Yeah, he's jumped the gun there a little bit on buying clothes. He should have waited a while.
Especially expensive suits.
Yeah.
So then in the shop there, on yet another type of really cool scale, Billy steps up and he weighs in at 233. And it's this concerned look on his face, but it's over exaggerated through the makeup, so it looks really goofy. It was hard to get invested with his character because he's acting so over the top.
Yeah, he's being Nicolas Cage in a fat suit, or trying to be Nicolas Cage.
That's a movie I want.
Right.
So then we cut now to dinner at Casa de Halleck, where Billy and Linda are eating. Heidi keeps bringing more and more food to them, and he's eating like a fucking pig, shoveling it, and the gross sounds that they have.
And just no care in the world that it's upsetting his daughter or anything.
Yeah.
Which maybe he's losing his mind a little bit.
Well, I think so, because like you said, the daughter's getting upset and she's expressing her concern, and his response is to laugh like a Batman villain.
Yeah.
He just does this maniacal cackle and she gets upset and runs away.
That's the first of 2 Batman references. Not references, but actions, I think, in the movie.
Okay, I can't wait to hear the other one. So Heidi confronts Billy after Linda storms out, and she says she's sending Linda away for a few weeks because she just can't put her through this. And I thought, good call.
Yeah, agree.
Smart parenting. So the next night, their friend, Dr. Houston, runs into Billy at a restaurant, tells him he's referring him to a specialist at a clinic the very next day because now he's concerned.
Yep.
So Billy at the restaurant there also sees the judge's wife sitting alone and asks the doc, why is she there without the judge? And he says, oh, the judge is just out of town. Everything's fine.
Right. She looks very distraught and sad sitting at the table alone.
Yes, this was a good little intro scene to her, like something's going on, because she plays it well. Mm-hmm. Which put a pin in it because later I have an issue with her. But right here, she's convincing.
Right there with you.
It sounds like we're on the same page for a lot of this.
I think so.
But I have to admit, the crazy, bonkers way this movie is, I love it. I love how bad it is.
It works, for sure.
So later, Billy goes over to the judge's house and asks to see him. And the wife is there. That's Lita. And she says that he's at the Mayo Clinic because after the gypsy touched him and said the word lizard, he started growing scales and claws. And she goes into this description.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to see that.
I was hoping so much they showed him.
Yeah, but we don't get to see him here. She just kind of describes it.
Right.
And they discuss that this whole thing, the thinner, the lizard, all that, it's obviously a gypsy curse. And when he leaves, she's overreacting and overacting, right? When she follows him out and she's yelling at him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, and the best award for, whatever performance, over dramatic, goes to...
What was she screaming at him? Come back and you tell me, or
you
something
tell
like
me.
that.
Yeah.
Over and over.
I was like, bitch is Meryl Streeping it up.
Right. Well, that scene really, like him or her saying, Billy, I think it's a gypsy curse or whatever. And he's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Like, really, dude? Two people that are involved in this got touched by the Gypsy King, and you don't think it's a gypsy curse.
And this is a lawyer. This is a smart, quote unquote, person.
Totally.
Oof, don't defend me. So now, a little weird bit of trivia I want to throw in, just because my husband pointed this out to me. He's a huge Simpsons fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Joe Mantegna voiced a character named Fat Tony on The Simpsons, who's like an Italian mobster.
Oh, totally.
So I was like, he's so perfect in this role of Janelli.
Yeah, because he's just all Italian mobster talk the whole movie.
The casting people are like, Italian. We got to go with Mantegna.
Yeah.
There's no second choice. So now we're at 31 minutes in, and finally we get another scene with Janelli, which I've been waiting for. So he's at a bar. He gets a call from Billy, who's asking him if he believes in gypsy curses. It's sinking in.
Right.
And why we call the Italian guy, I don't know. He's thinking maybe old world.
Yeah. Just call basically a stranger instead of talking to your wife about it.
I know, it makes you question their relationship.
Right.
So Janelli asks his mother in Italian, and she says, yes, she believes in curses. And she adds this bit of info that only the person who puts it on can take it off.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing she knew that.
Yeah.
It's weird because the conversation doesn't flow at all. It's like, okay, let's get out what we need to get out real quick. Yeah. Then we cut to Billy and his wife in the car, and Billy tells her they're on their way to the clinic and that the judge probably has a curse on him. He's hoping it's not it, but probably something has happened to the police chief too. So now he's starting to put the pieces together and talk to her about it a little. She doesn't believe him, as it makes us go, well, maybe it's a good thing he didn't go to her first.
Right.
So they're at the clinic, and then Billy decides he doesn't want to be there. They probably can't help him. Probably the whole curse thing. So he goes the next day to see the police chief, Hopley. They have a face-to-face. Billy finds out he also was cursed because he's got boils and weird shit on all over his face.
Yeah, once he comes into the light, I was happy with the makeup they did for him and his hands. Yes. And yes, it was very gross.
And his lips, like he's trying to talk and it's all like distorted. Yeah. So good. And this was an example too, which made the fat suit acting that much more heinous, because this dude's got all this shit on his face, even his mouth, and he's delivering this perfect, dramatic, subtle performance.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's obviously a better actor than the main guy.
Shots fired. I was actually going to say that too. Yeah. Pretty much everybody in this movie was acting circles around the lead, which is interesting because he's the lead.
Well, think about other Stephen King, like Pet Sematary, wasn't the old man next door. Most of them were better than the main guy, even Gage.
Correct. The lead was horribly miscast. You are correct. Mm-hmm. Okay. So they're having this conversation and, Billy leaves. He's upset. And then he hears a gunshot inside. So obviously the chief has shot himself, doesn't want to live that way.
Right.
But inside when they are talking, he does make a good point. He basically lays it out for Dum Dum Billy that this is our own fault.
Yeah. definitely. And he doesn't want to buy it.
Right.
And all he wants him to do is, I'm not going with you to find the old man, but take this gun. And when you find him, kill him. And he won't take the gun.
Right.
So I guess he had enough and offed himself.
So then Billy goes home and sees the doctor was there and he's leaving the house. And then he goes in. Heidi asks Billy, why did you leave the clinic? And he says, because it's a curse and they can't help it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, now he's 100% on board, finally.
Yeah.
So then, I love this scene. He goes in the kitchen and he's ranting and he starts eating a whole chicken.
Yeah, looks like it was probably uncooked too.
He's just biting and chewing and pieces are flying out of his mouth. It's so over dramatic. And then he throws the chicken because he's so mad.
Batman reference number 2. The face he makes is so much the Joker. That was probably the scariest part of the movie, was the face that he made. Because at this point, he's not so much in the fat suit anymore, but his whole bottom of his face is sunk in. And so that was a scary face that he made.
Yes, and I'm going to include that in the ones I post on socials, because this
Nice.
was the moment when he leans into her. And in the book, you're not seeing all this cheesy acting. And so it really hits you hard when he leans into her and he says, I'm being erased.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck. When you're reading the book. And this is the one moment where I was like, acting, good job. He's so convincing when he says that line to her.
Definitely. That's where he put in his acting chops.
But then that was it, because the erratic ranting and shit makes the rest of it laughable.
Yeah.
So then outside now, we're at Hopley's funeral, and Billy and the doc have a back and forth thing where they want Billy to go to the clinic, and Billy gets upset and storms off. He subtly insinuates that he's having an affair with his wife, the doctor is.
Like he said something?
Yeah, something gets insinuated. I didn't write down the exact note, but I remember, and a couple times during the movie, he makes a comment that he thinks his wife is having an affair with the doctor because he tells her, knock it off before I get home.
Right.
You know, and it's like, I don't know if I needed that, but as you'll find out at the end of the film, it matters a little.
So at the funeral, after he talked to the doctor, he walked across the street and got in his car and looked over, and the wife was hugging the doctor. Yeah. And like, this is what we're going to do or whatever.
Right. Okay, so this is where the whole private investigator thing pops back up, because Billy goes to see him and apparently had asked him to track the gypsy caravan to find out where they're going. He tells him all about Tadzu Lemke, the old man, that he's 106 years old.
Yeah.
Pretty spry for 106.
He gets around.
And then we find out the older gypsy lady that he actually hit was this guy's daughter. The investigator maps out the travel path for Billy so he can go find him and confront him. Later at home, Billy pops in on Heidi and the doc, secretly plotting to legally send him to the clinic.
Right.
But he takes off before they can do that. I did like this touch. I was like, oh, nostalgia. When he's driving, he's eating the old Cool Ranch Doritos.
I didn't notice that. The old nice 90s Cool Ranch Doritos bags.
You didn't notice him eating those?
No, I didn't.
Big old blue bag. And I was like, oh.
Delicious.
So I guess he left her a letter explaining what he's doing and tells her to end her affair if she's having one with the doctor.
Right.
He travels up the coast, eastern coast, and locates the Gypsy Carnival. And then he checks into a hotel, I guess, and has a nightmare. And this was cool. The judge, we get to see what he probably looked like.
It was the best part of the movie.
Super scary looking, I thought. But the scare effect, it gets taken away because of how the scene plays out.
Okay.
For me, he drives up and he's all, get in the car. And then they have this like head-on collision on the bridge with the Gypsy King. And it was like, really?
Yeah. I mean,
clearly that's not.
I wasn't too sure dream state wise. Like, obviously, this dude that looks like a lizard probably isn't real, but makeup wise looked really good. And then driving away, and then they got to the bridge, and I was like, wait, how the Gypsy King go from the carnival into a semi-truck, and then they ran into each other, and then all of a sudden Gypsy King's in another truck coming the opposite direction. So
You're like, that doesn't track even for Stephen King.
no.
So then he wakes up from this nightmare to a call from Lita saying that her husband, the judge, is in fact dead. He was hit by a semi.
The whole quote of that movie, or of that part, I think was the best. He asked for the judge, and she said, "I'm sorry, he drove his Lincoln into a gas truck." And he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And she said, "Well, happy ending, I guess. He always wanted to be cremated." That was, I think, my favorite line. Happy ending, I guess. He always did want to be cremated.
Well, she got to save money on it. There you go.
Yeah.
So we start to see now that as he's been losing all this weight, he's now down to what would be kind of a quote unquote normal weight. But then as his loose skin all hanging off his face, and they put him in the real baggy clothes. And this part works for me. The middle of his weight journey works for me. I buy it. The fat suit was too much.
Sure. Definitely.
But this I buy. They make him look like he's genuinely got the loose skin and that he's starting to waste away. I liked it.
Yeah, I agree. It looked right compared to the fat suit.
And I felt like he didn't try to overact because he wasn't wearing all that heavy makeup.
Right. At that point, I think his overacting is kind of impossible because he's acting so out of it, so tired, like he has no energy to even overreact to anything.
That's true.
So his acting kind of got better from here on out.
I'm with you. So Billy goes out to see that the carnival is packing up. He's just missed them. He leaves and goes into a local bar showing old Lemke's photo, trying to get somebody to tell him if he knows where they went. And a local guy tells Billy where to go. So he goes out and he goes to a payphone. Ah, the old days.
Gotta love payphones.
And he calls his daughter. And while they're talking, Heidi picks up and he just immediately slams the phone down and overreacts and calls her a bitch and it's your fault. And he's just mad. And I'm like, really, dude? Maybe this is where he kind of loses his mind. He's blaming her.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, it's both of their faults for what happened. But no, he's being a little harsh with her. They're a lot harsh with her.
So that night, Billy goes out to the gypsy camp, confronts Lemke and Gina, whom the PI had told Billy was actually his great-granddaughter, says to Billy, you know, you killed my mama, which was weird because Gina is the great-granddaughter.
I totally have that written down here.
Right? I was like...
Great-granddaughter, she called her mama.
Yeah. She must have got different pages that day. I don't know. So she spits on him, calls him a demon. Lemke calls Billy white man from town, like white devil, which is the same in the book. I mean, it's more chilling in the book.
Yeah.
So Billy begs him at first to please remove this curse. Lemke refuses and tells Billy to leave. Billy says, fine, I'll go. But before I go, I'm going to curse you back. And he proceeds to tell them that they are all cursed by the white man from town.
And they just laugh their asses off at him.
Okay, buddy. So before he leaves, Gina puts a little ball bearing through his hand with her slingshot.
That was brutal.
It was. I cringed. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, finally, we've hit the 1 hour mark of this 93-minute movie, and we're rolling full steam now. So now, to me, is where the movie kicks it in.
Mm-hmm.
Billy, still bleeding profusely, just it's bad.
Yeah.
Calls Janelli, his buddy, and says, I need a doctor. So the next morning, Richie's guy shows up, patches up Billy's hand, and gives him potassium pills so he won't go into cardiac arrest.
Right.
Convenient that he happened to have those on him.
Yeah, didn't he say they were his?
Something.
These are my personal pills, but you need them more than me.
My personal stash. So then the next day now, our MVP, Janelli, shows up. He sees Billy naked on the scale, and this makeup leaps and bounds better than the fat suit, again, in my opinion.
Definitely.
And he's down to 125, $1.25.
Ugh,
Pretty bad.
his diet's working.
So Richie tells Billy his wife and the doc want to commit him to the clinic. But then, in my opinion, Janelli comes in like a boss here and takes over. And he says, you know what? This is all going to be over one way or the other, dead or not. And then you can deal with their cheating asses later.
Yes.
He just like takes over.
Full gangster.
Oh my God, I love it. That was my note. I put in quotes, like a boss. And then I went, wait a minute, why did I put that? Oh yeah, because Janelli's fucking rad. That's why.
You learn it's good to have the mafia on your side.
And all its resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because later that night, Richie loads Billy into his car because he's at some little, out of the way motel. They drive up to the gypsy camp where Billy asks if he's planning on hurting anyone. And I thought, well, why do you care at this point? Richie says no, but if I'm going to help you, you don't get to ask me that question again.
Ever again.
I was like, yes, son, yes. So Billy waits in the car and Richie slinks off and gives the dogs some poisoned meat to kill them. And he tapes a sign to the cage that says, white man from town says, take it off.
That would be a scary sign to see, I guess. I mean, they don't think he can really do anything, but now you're starting to hurt their things and possibly their people.
Well, and the dogs, I mean, they don't know any better and they're dead.
Very true. How about some cyanide?
Right? It's so mean. So next, they go to a local gas station, a little Minute Mart, where Richie finds a local and pays him to be an informant so that when the gypsy camp heads out, he wants him to call and let him know. And I did like how he kind of taps on the window all casually and waves the money. He's all, it's a visit from the money fairy. And the dude thinks he wants like sexual favors or something.
He gets all close up to him. Whoa, kid.
So then they drive off and Billy asks Richie if he likes this, like if he's enjoying all of this. Did you write that down?
I was just looking for it. I don't think I did, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
He says, like it. I fucking love it.
That was awesome.
Oh, he's my favorite. He's almost my favorite character in any movie.
I fucking love it.
It's so good. And he's not over the top. You fully believe that he is this person.
Definitely.
So now we cut back to that informant kid calling Richie to tell him where Lemke is, but he's worried that he got spotted. And so, of course, smart, Richie says, well, you better skip town.
And lose my number.
Right. So then later, Richie gets some deliveries, and here's where having endless amounts of contacts and money comes in.
Yeah.
We see he's got a gun and who knows what else.
You can get AK-47s and ammo right through FedEx.
Apparently. Slip some greenbacks to the right people.
Right.
So then Billy notices the informant kid's car is parked out front. He is dead inside and has graffiti on the car that says white man from town, something about it. And it says, oh, and the kid has the word never written in blood on his forehead.
Yeah. Didn't he took his eyes out, right?
I think they gouged his eyes out and they shoved like chicken parts in his mouth or something.
That's right. Yep.
Oh, it's just graphic and it looks fabulous.
Yes.
And that'd be enough to spook me. Peace out.
I'd probably be ready to quit. Not Richie.
So Billy says, yeah, we should probably get out of this room though, real quick. So then we cut to nightfall at a farmhouse, barn situation that Richie found for them. Billy sees that Richie is loading his gun and saying that this is getting out of hand. And I love that Richie says, wrong, this has been out of hand.
Now it's time for me to put it in hand.
He's the MVP.
Yes.
All right, so then Richie goes to the camp, knocks out Gina's husband, this young man, duct tapes his mouth, ties him up, opens fire on the camp, just unleashing a shit ton of damage, explosions.
Totally. He's got a whole arsenal. The trunk's got to be full of grenades or some shit.
The fuck is this guy, Rambo? But visually cool as hell. Great scene.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not believable, but really cool. So then Richie puts a note in the guy's chest pocket and sends him running toward the camp. They see him coming and the gypsies unload on him full of lead. I was like, where was this 5 minutes ago? But they wait till they see this guy. Then they get the note out of his pocket and they see that it says, white man from town says, take it off.
No, he's killing their loved ones.
Well, yeah, if you go whole like eye for an eye, I mean, the judge is dead, the police chief's dead, now this guy's dead.
Yeah, you got to prove a point. Take this shit off or you're all going to die.
So the next day, police are everywhere at the camp, all over the place. Janelli, in his disguise of glasses and a trench coat, tells Gina that he is FBI and flashes a badge at her and says, here's the guy we think did this, and shows a picture of Billy.
Right.
And says, yeah, we've got this guy in custody. Do you want to come identify him? And of course, she's like, yes.
Up and let's go. His name is Special Agent Stoner.
Very creative.
Right.
It reminds me of Supernatural. Did you watch Supernatural?
I didn't.
Oh my God. Every time the boys have to be like a cop or an FBI, they flash a badge and they're like, they use the last names of members of like, Steely Dan or Led Zeppelin or whatever.
Oh, awesome.
Always being like old classic rock guys.
That's cool.
So I was watching for that when he said, yeah, who he was here. And I was like, Stoner.
Yeah.
So he takes her back to the barn and throws liquid on her face, saying that it's acid.
Acid, bitch.
She screams and falls to the ground. But
I believed it.
Yeah, she at first she's like, oh my God, but then she goes, oh, it's not acid. But yeah, first time you watched it, were you like, holy shit?
Yeah, for sure.
So Billy runs out to see what's going on and tells Richie, don't shoot her, don't kill her. So Richie's like, fine, okay. So he puts her down on the ground on her back. I love this. Takes a jar with real acid in it, and he proves it, and sets it open on her forehead and tells her to hold real still.
Yep. That is psychological trauma for sure.
That was so gangster. I was like, yes. So then they creep out and leave. Richie tells her, tell Lemke to meet Billy at the lighthouse in 2 hours. And then he takes Billy and they leave by car. And to me, this was super tense where she's slowly trying to move her arm to get the jar.
Yeah. And use both hands. Why do you need to use one hand and just get that shit out of here? But yes, it added to the dramatic effect.
That had to be so fun because I don't remember that memory of seeing this for the first time. And since you just did, that had to be so fun watching that scene for the first time.
Yeah, it was intense, the whole scene. And she screamed at him that your friend is a pig and he will die thin.
That's
I liked
right.
that. I liked that too.
Yeah, she actually does a really good job with the little bit she's given in this movie.
Agreed.
So then Richie takes Billy now to that lighthouse where Billy waits on a bench and he looks like shit.
Yes, he looks just like Lurch, like in his face.
Yes. And then Lemke shows up holding a pie. And this is exactly like the book. So I appreciated that they stuck with this.
Good.
Cuts Billy's hand, puts some blood on the pie, and he says he's putting the curse in the pie. And you can see the pie like pulsating,
bubbling and boiling. And yeah, super gross.
So gross.
Just looked like there was stuff crawling in it. Like the curse was binding with the pie.
And in a movie that's campy and cheesy and corny, you would think a bubbling pie would be over the top, but it's not. It's effective. Like, it's creepy.
Yeah, they did a good job making it look pretty real.
So then he tells Billy, now your curse is in the pie and not in you. You need to give this pie to someone soon, and whoever eats the pie will die quick and bad. But he tells him, which I think was right, you should just eat the pie yourself and die clean.
Fully agree with that as well. Just eat it and be over with it.
So Billy calls home and tells his daughter he's coming home tonight, but he wants to surprise the wife. So please go stay at your friend's house. Don't tell mom I'm coming home. It's a surprise, but you need to leave. Mm-hmm. So then Heidi jumps on the phone and Billy says, oh, I'm not going to be home for a couple days. So I'll see you in a couple days, and hangs up.
Right.
And I was like, what's he doing here? This is Pretty smart, though. So that night, Billy gets home, puts the still moving, still pulsing pie in the kitchen, goes in the living room and surprises Heidi, who's asleep on the couch or resting. And he so unnecessary and over the top to me. When he leans in before he wakes her up, he's all, "Wake up, white woman from town."
I forgot about that. So stupid.
Yeah, it was. And the look on his face when he said it, I was like, are you serious? So Heidi jumps up, tells Billy there's never been anything between her and the doc. And he says, you know what? Let's not talk about that right now. I'm going to go up to bed. Why don't you go in the kitchen and see the surprise I brought you? And then as she walks away, he mumbles under his breath, "Getting even is what it's all about, you bitch."
Yeah.
And then he goes upstairs.
That's insane.
I was
That's so brutal.
what? Like, really, dude? Still putting all the blame on her. And then I'm like, well, maybe because of all the psychological trauma of what happened to him.
I'm sure he was not in his right mind by any means, but she didn't deserve that, even if she was cheating.
Right. So then the next morning, Billy rolls over in bed to discover Heidi is dead, laying next to him in the bed. Her face, again, special effects budget went to this, not the fat suit. So what did you think when you first get a look at her? Before anything even happens, you just see her laying there dead like that.
She was just rotting, decomposed. That was some good special effects or whatever they did. That was well done and disgusting.
And then, to me, they ruined that moment of glorious grossness by having him lean in and kiss her.
Yeah. And just taste the pie that's on her lips. And yeah, that was super gross.
And he even says audibly, like after he tastes it. I was like,
no remorse whatsoever.
What? Also, I have to excuse this little technical hiccup, because if he can actually taste the pie, wouldn't he be getting a taste of it? Wouldn't he be getting some purse there?
You would think, yeah.
I was like, oh, brother. But anyway, okay, so that's over. Billy goes downstairs and sees his daughter's backpack and jacket on the chair. So then he hightails it into the kitchen and sees 2 sets of dirty dishes in the sink.
Yeah.
And for a hot second, you're like, haha, that's what you get, sucker.
Totally.
But then Linda comes bouncing in and you're like, oh, maybe everything's fine. But she says, I came home early and I just had a piece of that breakfast pie, and gives him a kiss and runs off.
For one, what the hell is breakfast pie? And but
Hey.
Yes, that's a stomach dropping moment, and that's just reckless.
And also you're like, shit, so she's going to be off with her friends when
she just starts melting, basically. How could you, knowing damn well that your wife's going to eat that and it's probably going to kill her, even if you want her dead, wouldn't the anticipation stop you from sleeping? He just went upstairs and got 8 hours of sleep like it was no problem.
That's a testament to his mental state at this point, I guess. But let me back up for a second to the whole breakfast pie thing.
Mm-hmm.
As a chubby person who does like to eat sweets, pretty much if I put the word breakfast in front of anything, it validates me eating it at 7 a.m.
Fair enough.
Just gonna throw that out there.
I've never heard it called breakfast pie. You're having pie.
I've had breakfast pie. I've had breakfast cake.
Okay.
Breakfast eclairs. You name it.
I've had breakfast mimosas and breakfast whiskey. So
okay, see, it justifies it somehow. So then, okay, so she runs off. Billy picks up the pie, and finally there's some remorse, and this moment hits. He picks up a fork, and he's just going to go ahead and take a bite himself, because he figures, fuck it.
Yeah.
Just killed my wife, just killed my daughter.
Killed the one person I love.
Right. But he stopped when the doorbell rings. Now, the book ends with him eating the pie himself.
Oh, really?
It's a fitting ending.
Yeah.
I don't like that we have that bizarre, possibly the wife is cheating with the doctor subplot in the movie, because then they decide to end the film this way. So
in the book, that wasn't even a storyline?
It's not even a thing. like this. I can't remember if it's mentioned in the book, but it's definitely not a subplot that makes the ending of the film ending. No.
So in the book, does he kill his wife purposely?
He takes the pie home and he eats it himself.
Oh, okay. So just to put a twist on it for people that read the book, they changed it.
Which, whatever, but I didn't need this.
Sure.
So it's the doc at the door, and he tells the doctor, don't worry, I've settled everything with Heidi, and now it's your turn. So come on in and have some breakfast pie.
Just all excited. Come on in.
And then the doctor comes in, and then the final scene is Billy closing the door and again mumbling to himself under his breath, come on in, white doctor from town.
And then closes the door, and that's it.
Fade to black, the end, roll credits.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna assume that he and the doc both eat the pie.
Okay.
I'm just gonna assume, because in the book he kills himself,
Yeah, I'll take
That's
that.
what I like to think, because otherwise it would just piss me off.
Yeah,
do
I
we just
assume that's
forget?
definitely what happened.
Yeah, because did you just forget like 10 seconds ago you were upset that you killed your daughter?
Yeah.
Doc
Or
shows up and whoop, we forgot about that.
they find out in a couple hours that it's only good for one person. So his wife's dead. They can just eat the pie and be fine.
Happy ending.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Well,
Except for when they find the dead wife in the bed.
Right? As a lawyer, you got to know that's not a good look.
No.
To have a dead wife upstairs.
Nope.
Okay, so at the end of every episode, I like to roll into 3 questions. So let's do that. Unless you've got anything we missed that you wanted to comment on.
I just his mafia name was Richie the Hammer. And he went into a big spiel on that after they killed the messenger kid. He's a mook, but he was my mook.
I forgot.
Richie the Hammer's ready.
Yes. He was the best. Oh my God. So the fact that you brought that up is perfect, because that's actually question 1 I have for you.
Okay.
Wouldn't you have loved a Richie Ginelli movie?
Yeah. They could have prequeled it and showed us why he was on trial, or maybe now because he believes in gypsy curses, he's a gypsy curse hunter or something.
Why he was Richie the Hammer.
Right.
I would have been all in, especially if it was Joe Mantegna.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, MVP of the movie for me.
It saved it, in my opinion.
Agreed. He was the only one that to me gave a flawless performance.
Yeah.
The movie really lacked a lot of good performances. I was super sad about that, especially the lead.
Agreed.
So yeah, okay. Janelli should have his own movie. Okay, we agree on that. So speaking of, this is just Stephen King movies in general, as kind of a piggyback to that. Just out of curiosity, what are your top 5 Stephen King movies? They don't have to be scary ones necessarily, but are you more toward the horror, or do you like the drama stuff more?
I'm gonna have to do a lot of he did this movie, right? He did or wrote The Mist. Was that Stephen King?
Yes.
That, even though I only watched it one time and I could never watch it again. That movie was such a mindfuck. I saw it in the theater and it was in my brain for days. That movie really got me. It is obviously up there. Aside from Tim Curry, I could probably do without the initial one. So the new ones I really enjoyed.
Okay.
I don't really remember it, but I know I watched Langoliers with my dad when I was younger, and I remember that. I don't remember if it was really good or really bad. I'm assuming it was bad because that was just straight to TV.
The special effects left a lot to be desired.
Pet Sematary destroyed me as a kid, and really, Zelda really got me. But then when they put down Church, when they put down the cat, that broke my heart. And I think I don't know how old I was, very young.
I was going to say,
but I was like, oh, they just killed the cat. That is what got me. So
okay.
I do like a lot of Stephen King. I haven't read any of the books, but I enjoy a good amount of the movies that have been made off of his books.
I was trying to think of ones that were more horror and not drama, because that's what I tend to lean toward.
Sure.
And I definitely had The Mist on there. I definitely had all the iterations. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
This one, though it's bad, I love it. Thinner.
Yeah.
Pet Cemetery.
Hmm.
Sleepwalkers.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about Sleepwalkers.
Because it's so fucking bonkers.
Dude gets killed with a corn cob.
I love it. And talk about cats. Clovis.
Yeah.
Come on.
I might have to watch that again. I don't remember a whole lot of it except for the corn cob and just incest.
It's so good. Because it's so bad.
Right.
And then rounding out my list for favorites, I have Silver Bullet and The Dead Zone. Christopher Walken.
I forgot about Silver Bullet too. That's definitely top of my list.
I mean, young Corey Haim, Gary Busey, and a werewolf? Come on.
And the best scene, it hurts my parts. We say that at least 2 or 3 times a week.
I feel like I'm going to need to do that episode with you because the fact that you just said that line seals it for me because that movie is all about the little one-liners.
Right.
Okay. So back to this movie. Question 2. Would anything have saved this movie for you and moved it further up your rankings, such as recasting the lead or something like that? Or do you feel like the movie told as is, it wouldn't have mattered who the lead was?
No, it could have been recast. I mean, not talking shit on the guy. He is an actor for a reason, but...
Well, we're critiquing it. You can talk a little shit.
Yeah. I think it could have been recast. I couldn't necessarily think of anybody to replace him with, but Nicolas Cage would have been great for the amount of craziness that he went through.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah, other than that, really just remake it, see what you can do with it. Now that you have all the better special effects, and it seems like they would put more into it.
So that was going to be my question 3, was like a 2-parter question. And part 1 of it was, should they try to remake this? Do you think it would be better?
It would have to be better. I would think so. I mean, it wasn't a top-notch great movie, so why not give it another try?
Do you think we go straight to Amazon, with it, or do we try and do a theatrical?
No, I would say Amazon or
lower budget.
Yeah, Netflix, or even your horror movie app. I can't think of the name of it. Shudder.
Oh, there's Shudder, Screenbox, different ones. Yeah. So then you don't read a lot of King, you said.
No.
Are you familiar with his story from '94 called Insomnia? Do you know anybody?
There was a movie called Insomnia, wasn't there?
So not the Christopher Nolan movie.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
This has not been adapted yet. It's just a novel that he wrote in '94.
Okay. No.
So you're not familiar?
No.
So I haven't read it, but the plot, very simply laid out, says retired widower whose increasing insomnia allows him to perceive auras and other hidden things, leading him to join the conflict between the forces of purpose and the forces of random. And it's freaking like 800 pages. Like, that's how long it was.
Yeah.
I haven't read this, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
To just in the bare bones description to me. I think that they need to be looking at movies like that. I mean, I wouldn't mind a remake of Thinner.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But I think they need to do Insomnia and like some of his other properties.
Yeah, that sounds like, I mean, I would wait for the movie. Hopefully they'll make a movie of it.
or a 10-part Netflix series.
There you go. They can do it right alongside of the new It series.
Yeah. I heard that's a thing. Is that going to Netflix?
I'm not sure what it's going to go to. It might be HBO.
Is it something dairy?
Pennywise and Dairy or something like that.
Oh, cool. Okay. I'm not mad at stuff like that. I tried watching Castle Rock and I couldn't get very far into it.
We loved the first season so much.
Okay, I'll finish that.
Because Alexander Skarsgård is not Alexander. Bill Skarsgård, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in it and he's just awesome. It's worth going through the first season for sure.
Okay. That reminds me, now that you said that, it makes me think of they represent Annie Wilkes in Castle Rock, I hear. Misery, the movie Misery. To me, that's like the #1 best adaptation of King's work from book to screen.
Yeah, Misery was great.
As far as, I mean, it misses 2 key things that happen in the book that as a gore fan
weren't
there. But yeah, how can I make a list and forget Misery?
Yeah, and he did The Shining too, right?
Well, he did the miniseries version, which is true to the novel, but
He
then
didn't-
there's the
He didn't
Kubrick.
write the book.
Yes.
Okay.
And then they did the miniseries faithful to the book. But see, the
Gotcha.
movie that we all love with Nicholson was Kubrick,
That's right.
straying really far, I guess, from the source material.
I forgot about Tommy Knockers. That was Jimmy Smith's, right?
I don't remember.
I
just remember
believe
not
he
liking
was in Tommy Knockers, and Jimmy Smith's is my guy.
Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot.
There's a lot. See, there's a lot of good King stuff to talk about. I mean, I almost feel bad that I made you watch Thinner now.
Well, we can always do another one.
Well, and you got to enjoy the magnificence that is Joe Mantegna. So
Richie the Hammer.
you're welcome. There you go. All right, so that's going to wrap up our discussion on Thinner. For anyone interested in checking it out, at the time of this recording, it's available on Amazon Prime, Hulu, and Epix through your local cable provider. So I want to thank you, sir, for joining me today. Hopefully this wasn't too painful.
No, it was great. I enjoyed myself.
Oh, good. Okay, so I didn't know if reliving Thinner would be too much for you. All right, and want to thank you all for listening. And until next time, Thinner.
Lizard.
This is getting out of hand.
Wrong. This has been out of hand. Ever since that old gyp touched you, William. And I'm just the guy to put it back in hand. I gotta show them. They can't get away with that stuff they pulled on that kid. He was a mook, but he was my mook. Richie the Hammer.
Hey listeners, Movie Miss here. Listen, I know you have a lot of options when it comes to podcasts, so thank you for listening to the show. I know everybody says this, but for a fledgling little show like ours that's just hanging on, we just finished season 4, we're rolling into season 5, it would really help us if you could subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Good Pods. We're also on Pandora, Audible, Amazon Music. It would really help us grow the show and reach more people if you could subscribe and then rate and review, which is really the key part of it. Make sure to be part of our Bad Movie conversation by following us on social media. Interact with me on social media. I'm on Instagram at Movie Miss, which is movie_miss. The show is on Instagram at Let's Talk Turkeys. Also on Blue Sky at Let's Talk Turkeys and Facebook. We're on X. I'm honestly not sure how much longer I'm going to have the show on there, but currently the handle is at Gobble Podcast. Get it? Gobble, because like a turkey. You can also chat with like-minded bad movie lovers in our Facebook discussion group. And like I mentioned, we're rolling into season 5. It is 2025. The show, it's been a wild ride, still going strong. So if you have a movie that you would like to hear covered on the show, let me know by emailing direct at letstalkturkeys, all one word, at yahoo.com. Also, hit me up on socials if you want to be a guest on the show. Always looking for guests. I can assign you a movie, something we think is fun, or you can bring a movie that you think is a bad movie if it has a low Rotten Tomatoes score, or you just really don't like the movie but you like to talk about it. That's half the fun, I think. Again, this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. Without you, the show wouldn't still be kicking around. So thank you so much for hanging in there with us.
I'll be back.
Get the fuck out of here. No, I cannot.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Why don't you get the fuck out of here? Get the fuck out of here. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.